Jesus speaks of false Christs, false prophets, and false miracles. The Lord. Yes, many Jews will believe in me as well, and many already believe, but it will not be long before a great multitude will arise from among them, each and every one of them writing and proclaiming a different gospel, as is already the case in many places, giving rise to a great number of false Christs. For these false propagators of my teaching will say to their disciples, "Behold, here is the true Christ," something I must know, considering I was his eyewitness. And another will claim the same of his Christ. And so, soon will these false prophets bring about great confusion among the Gentiles, because firstly, as Jews, they will more easily be believed than any Gentile awakened by me. And secondly, by invoking the title of "in my name," they will perform false miracles and signs. Thereby they will seduce many a people, convincing them of the validity of their false Christs. Thus I tell you this now, so you will know, and should you yourselves come face to face with such false prophets, you will not believe what they teach, and instead bear witness against them in my name, warning the people of their duplicity, and finally punishing and preventing them from spreading my teaching. Should you be lax in this assignment, you shall be like salt grown foul and useless. However, when the salt has grown foul and useless, what will we season our food with then? Therefore, instruct the peoples to be wary of the false prophets, knowing well to believe neither their words nor their signs. You, however, shall not be in disagreement amongst yourselves, neither in word nor deed. Instead, pass everything on to the people, in full truth and devoid of any self-contradiction, just as you have received it from me. For should you disagree with one another, where one will say this and another that, you yourselves will be the ones to plant the baleful seed of discord in my teaching. And by doing so, you will not find much praise or reward with me. However, mostly you will be recognized as my true disciples by loving one another, the same way I have always loved you, and by never falling into disputes and quarrels, something that happens all too quickly among the false prophets. Amidst their ranks will one false Christ proclaimed by them persecute another with curses and condemnation, whereby my teaching I deliver to you will be broken in pieces, as will happen to Jerusalem and other cities as well soon, where no stone will be left upon another. I myself know how to keep my teaching thoroughly pure until the end of times. But woe to all antichrists in the course of time. Not much longer shall they do their evil deeds, as the Jews did it since the time of Moses all the way up to me. I will visit upon them a material judgment, more severe than the one during the time of Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, and many other cities and nations up to this point. However, I will continue to remain with my people until the end of times, visiting them in many different ways, one time here, another time there. I myself will be their teacher in all things, for during that time I shall arrive like lightning, beaming from start to finish, and illuminating all that was obscure and dark on this earth. And lo, the great radiance of this lightning will destroy the adversaries, the way it will kill the crabs when it shines upon them. Therein lies an equivalent to the men who, like the Israelites, shunned to walk in my light, instead always longing for the brimming meat pots of the dark Egypt. And thus the crab, most notably dwelling in Egypt, possesses this characteristic as well, usually preferring to seek sustenance in the obscure mud. Even if it should crawl into the light from time to time, it will quickly return to its murky mud once again. Tell me, do the present Jews in the Promised Land not perfectly resemble the Israelites whom Moses freed from Egypt's grasp? Who, instead of moving forward in the desert to reach the Promised Land, merely longed for the Egyptian meat pots, eventually coming to revile Moses for leading them out of Egypt, where they were so well off. Can such people not be compared to those abominable mud dwellers, unable to bear the brilliance of the lightning, incessantly moving backwards instead of forwards, all for the sake of the muck they consider nourishment? And thus, for their final judgment, I have designated for all of them to die by the fire and brilliance of my lightning. And so will it be fulfilled, that of which I have already told you previously, namely that, in the end, I will allow the earth to be purified of its filth by the fire. I think with this I have more than sufficiently made clear to you the reason why the light was taken from the Jews and given to the Gentiles. The Jews will continue to exist among the Gentiles of all nations upon this earth, and still they will continue to hope for a Messiah, one who will never come, however. That is why they will perpetually resemble animals, like dogs or pigs. For a dog will always return to what it has spat out, and a pig to the pool of mud wherein it bathed and dirtied itself. The threefold blanket covering the countenance of Moses will cling to their eyes, for they cannot bear the brilliant light of the heavens, which is why they will never grasp and perceive the inner meaning of the scriptures of Moses and the prophets. Are you satisfied with this well-founded explanation of mine? Said the disciple of John, "Oh, Lord and Master, I simply must be satisfied with this, for I now understand it ever so clearly, that it is exactly so, and as a result will continue to be so, just as you have revealed to all of us now. Oh, who is to blame for the people abusing their free will to such an extent, preferring to be deceived and led around by the devil's leash, instead of following your advice, which seeks to elevate them towards complete freedom and grant them eternal life in your kingdom? I only hope that you, O Lord and Master, will continue to possess the means to, in time, call forth true men from the crabs, men who will recognize you. Because this is surely not the purpose for which you sent them into this world, to have them remain as crabs in spirit for eternity. Said I, that which is reserved for the times of the future lies hidden within the advice of my love and wisdom. However, it will be long before even the very last star will burn out. Men will behold many stars go out in the sky, with many others taking their place. And even then will the true crabs not have lost much of their detestable appearance. 1,000 years upon this earth are but a moment to me, however, and so that which cannot be accomplished throughout one period of time may be achieved in another, maybe only after 1,000 periods. He who wishes to be assisted will indeed be assisted shortly, but he who seeks to persist in his stubbornness may persist as long as he wishes, for even if he intends to persist therein eternally, he is free to do so. Even the internal matter of the earth, as well as the countless other celestial bodies, require sustenance to continue existing, and it will take a terribly long time before even a single atom of the Earth's interior will once again reach the surface. Though what I am telling you with this, you do not understand. The prodigal son is on his way back already, but still it will be long, if not an eternity, before he will wholly return to the Father's house of old. On a small scale, every sinner may be likened to a prodigal son, over whose true return will be experienced greater joy than over 99 righteous ones who are in no need of penance. But the word I speak to you now does not merely pertain to this earth, but to the whole of infinity, in an appropriate manner. For my words are not the words of men, but the words of God, and they are heard by the countless myriads of angels as well, carried from one end of my infinite number of creations to the other, forever effective. This you do not understand either, but should you be reborn in spirit, you too will be able to peer into the endless depths of my mercy. For the time being, however, be satisfied with what you have heard now, for things of this sort, of which I have now spoken to you, I will not speak of again in this world. So, keep it with and in yourselves, until the time of your inner enlightenment, after which you too may converse with those of great understanding and enlightenment, about all the things you heard from me. But do keep it from those who lack understanding, and cast not my pearls before the swine. These things the disciples kept to themselves, continuing to do so as they spread my doctrine, and especially to the Jews did they reveal little else besides my suffering, death, and resurrection, that I was thus truly the Messiah. But even concerning these last few events, they were not completely in agreement with one another. This became already apparent after the message of the women, namely Magdalena, concerning my resurrection, was believed by only a few of my disciples, while the others denied and discounted it as a mere fable. That is, until I personally appeared before them. And even then, it was nonetheless difficult to erase all doubt from their minds that I had truly risen. Though I have told the disciples on this very occasion to beware strife and disagreement amongst themselves, still it turned out the same way it does with everyone else. Their spirit was willing, but their flesh was weak.